Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nikita Antoine, and today we'll be doing a message for the season of Leo. So this is a little something new that I'm doing, and basically it's going to kind of like illuminate the enclosure, if you will, of the season of Leo. So with that being said, of course, all of the readings are timeless. When the message finds you and resonates, and it's, of course, yours at the time in which you find it. Considering that this is a reading for the season of Leo, they like it is timeless in a sense that it could be occurring for you in this year or perhaps in the next year, or perhaps this has already occurred for you in the previous year. Yeah, so with all of that being said, I had a lot of anxiousness in my belly. Um, and it's interesting. It's like all of that nervousness has subsided right as I hit the record button. So that to me is a good sign that if you're feeling any nervousness in this season of Leo, it's almost like as quickly as you take uh, that next step, all of that energy inside of your like belly is going to like dissipate essentially. All right, so let's see, Leo. At the bottom of the deck we have, oh, that's funny. We have the Nine of Swords. All right, so the underlining energy. This is funny to me because the Nine of Swords typically represents anxiety or nervousness. And the underlining energy of this season of Leo is that nervous energy, this um, actually what's coming through is the nervousness seems to be pointing out a lot of insecurities that are still residing within your being. And it seems to have something to do with perhaps like are if others are going to accept you or not, or if they're going to, this is interesting, if it's going to be like it was before is what's coming through. So there, it seems to me like when we're experiencing this in the season of Leo, perhaps the anxiety or the fear that we are experiencing before whatever happens is seems like it might be a projection of previous experiences which are giving you that, it's like the memory of these previous experiences are giving you this anxiousness. But what's interesting here is that, you know, these I want to call them, they're like creations of the mind. It's like they're illusions. They're not holding any color or anything. Like you as this being here in the bed is holding all of the color, so it's holding all of the life. And it seems to me it's like if this was to be given more life, it might have more of an effect. But because it doesn't have kind of like the juice, if you will, it's not, it can't actually touch you. It can't actually touch you. It's like an illusion. It's like the anxiety is an illusion. It's very interesting. Okay. And which is, it's interesting because it's like right as I hit the record button, right as I made that move to like progress forward, that illusion, that's what this is. It's like that illusion dissipates. Okay. So let's see. On the bridge for your reading, we have the octopus. I love this octopus energy. For me, the octopus symbolizes something that is alien. It's foreign. It's kind of like a other world, out of this world energy. So with it being the bridge, what it's talking about is that something that is foreign, something that is foreign to you is actually facilitating this like changeover. I'm noticing these tentacles in this arm here. And as I was saying before, it's like if this energy was to be given more like color or it's it's taking me back to a saying that's like the which wolf do you feed? Like if you were to feed this anxious energy more, and if it's to touch you, it's almost like the anxiety is actually helping to facilitate this transition of yours. It's almost like it's if it is to touch you, it kind of it's going to quickly move you, because it's like if this was to touch her, it's like she's going to jump out of the bed and she's going to it's causing movement. So this foreign energy, this otherworldly energy is facilitating movement from anxiety. All right. And then let's get well, that's interesting. It just came off the top of the deck. Okay. Well, it's the Emperor. I'm not getting anything off of that. All right. So let's get a overall energy for the season of Leo. Okay. So for the overall energy, we have the Ten of Swords, which of course talks about kind of like abrupt endings. An abrupt ending is the overall energy. So okay, so it seems like this is kind of expected when you're in this Nine of Swords. But when you're in the Nine of Swords, it's like you can't yet experience the Ten of Swords, because you're like still, because the anxiety is still present, right? And so this is what I'm referring to. It's like once this otherworldly energy has touched you, it facilitates the movement into the ending of, it's like nervousness. Interesting. I was just going to say excitement. It's like nervousness, anxiety that is abruptly ending, which is this is actually really beautiful energy. It's like all of that energy that's like sitting inside of your being is being kind of like abolished. That's a really extreme word, but it is. It's being abolished. It has no effect anymore. And so then you find yourself in this Ten of Swords, which can kind of look a little, slightly a little dismal, but what's coming through is kind of like keep in mind that the next step after the Ten of Swords is the Ace of Swords. So it's a true beginning is what it's referring to. A true beginning. All right. So we begin the Leo Enclosure reading with this card here, the Page of Cups. And this is coming through as like the actions, the things that we are doing within this season. So as this card came out, I and it, flew on the table. I'm asking it like, what is this talking about? And typically the Page of Cups comes through as like kind of like an offering or something, um, offering something to someone else. But what I'm noticing here is that, with it being an enclosure, it's like everything is very self-contained. So what I'm seeing is this Page of Cups, us, the collective, is using our cup as like this reflective surface that we can then kind of like, it's like we're able to see our own image. And the cup is talking about like this heartfelt, this, it's referring to the heart. It's referring to the heart. So when this card came out, I kind of sat with it for a second, and it's very bizarre. It's like I noticed that there was a like a stain on, not a stain, but like a piece of like goop or something on my table, the table that I read on. And just before I started the reading, I came through and I cleaned my table off and I made sure that everything was kind of like pristine for me to lay my cards on. But as this card came out, it's like I was noticing a spot that I had missed. And I took a second and I cleaned it up before I pulled any more cards. But that message that came through with that is that this Leo season is going to provide us with an opportunity to be able to like really make sure that our own cup, the love that we have for ourselves, is pristine and clean before before the next before the next season arrives. Okay, so then kind of like looking into the future after the season, the next season that would arrive would be Virgo season, and Virgo is the harvest. So making sure that everything is kind of like perfectly in place for us to be able to receive the harvest, the bounty that the universe has to offer. It's not the universe. It's that you have to offer to yourself. It's a self-contained energy. So it's like, so for you to be able to receive what you have to offer for yourself, it's like you have to make sure that the vessel is clean. And that's talking about this like heart space. So I'm seeing this Page of Cups, which is presenting as us, the collective. I'm seeing the collective kind of take this cup and they're shining it. They're shining it and then kind of like tilting it in the sun to make sure that no spots are being missed. No spot is being missed at all. And I want to say that this energy up here, that framework, the underlining energy, is it is the spot. It's the spot that you're looking for to clean off, so that once it's clean, everything is kind of like the anxiety, the nervousness, all of that stuff is taken away. It's like then whatever newness is coming. See, that's very interesting because the octopus is kind of like, it's got these suckers on it too, so it's kind of like it's like a sticky energy. So it needs, like, whatever this is, it needs to be cleaned off so that you can receive what you have to offer to yourself. Okay. And when this, as the collective in this Leo season is tilting this cup and like looking, it's almost like they're able to see their own reflection. You are able to see your own reflection. And the reflection that is coming through in this now shiny and pristine cup is the Hierophant. And when this came out, it's the Hierophant to me often talks about blessing something, like blessing. It's like blessing your own cup. So there's a lot of like self love that is happening in this Leo season, and it's what it's referring to is like by you taking this opportunity to clean whatever this is within your own cup, it's acting as a blessing to yourself. The thunder is starting to rumble. So it's acting as a blessing to yourself. So you are facilitating your own blessings by doing this. And whatever is in this cup, be it something that perhaps maybe is like otherworldly or external to you, be it maybe something that some type of thing that you would harvest that is like a gift from some other place or some other being. What it's referring to is that doing this is an act of service to yourself. So that you can receive your own blessings. And I want to say also kind of like perhaps maybe something that is outside of you too. So we've got this like beautiful reflection of yourself on the surface of this cup, and you're seeing how it's like you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for anyone else, which it kind of makes sense, especially for the Leo season, because Leo energy is that's interesting because that actually makes me think of Aries energy. But the Leo energy is like it's for you. It's all for you. You're doing it for yourself. And when it's like once that surface is seen, once it's seen that you're doing this for yourself, it's like then the cup itself is like tilted so that you're looking inside of it. So as you're looking inside of it, I'm seeing this Four of Cups as kind of like you've been looking on the outside, and then you see how this container here, it's like you're now looking inside of your own cup. So you've got the surface of your cup very squeaky clean, and then now you're looking at the internal. And what we are seeing as a collective inside of Leo season is kind of like it's like the unawakened parts of ourselves. It's looking to me actually like scrying almost. So as we clean the superficial parts of it, we look a little deeper into ourselves more. There's an image of the unawakened parts of ourselves that, well, it wants to come into view. It's almost like this image is rising up from the depths of this cup, and it's just touching like the very top of it, the parts that are I'm noticing in here there are three swords. So the parts of us that perhaps maybe, well, they cause a lot of heartache. That's what it's talking about. They cause a lot of heartache for us. And what I'm immediately noticing here is that, there is a resemblance between this anxious energy and what's inside the cup. So we're noticing it's like the anxious parts of ourselves are being viewed as something that is like detrimental to us, something that is, well, causing a lot of pain. It's coming through as like pain within yourself, like heartache, things of that nature. But we were just referring to in the framework actually as how these parts of us that perhaps maybe we see them as foreign, um, foreign parts of us. It's like fragmented parts of us that we identify as something that is foreign, are actually helping to facilitate. They're actually helping to facilitate an ending to the an ending to some type of insecurity. It's coming through as some type of insecurity that we have with ourselves. So it's kind of like referring to that anxiety is kind of this anxiety is acting as, well, you can see it a couple of different ways. You can see it as it's acting as like a curse, like it's preventing you from getting where you need to go, or you can utilize its energy to help facilitate you into seeing personal where like your personal insecurities lie. And we were kind of just talking about, I remember, excuse me, in the first half of the not the first half, in the framework of the reading, we're kind of referring to as like, are they going to accept me? um is it going to be like it was before? Am I going to be isolated? This is a whole new realm of experience, probably dealing with other people. um am I going to be accepted? It has something to do with acceptance. And a part of this is, once you look within your own cup and you're cleaning everything out, you're also kind of accepting the fragmented parts of yourself that probably are characterized. Oh, this is beautiful. Characterized, I'm just loving this imagery here, as anxiety. And it's like once it touches you, once that anxiety touches you, it's like a quick movement. It's a quick movement into it kind of like being over. So, and when I say over, what it's meaning is that insecurity that you might have of perhaps wanting to be accepted, it's like it's stemming from you yourself not accepting all of the pieces of you. So it's like, of course, in this enclosure, I don't know why I'm thinking of like Annihilation, where they had that dome, and all the light was being not reflected, refracted back to you. So, you know, everything is kind of like being projected out, and then you're having a chance to see it, to witness it, so that you can integrate it. So it's like this, there's an acceptance of this insecurity that is going to like propel you out of anxiety, because it's like you're accepting that it is a part of you. And perhaps it's like it's not a terrible part of you. It's like a shadow of yourself. It's like accepting your own shadow, and kind of also seeing the benefit of it too. It's like seeing the benefit of having this insecurity, and then also being able to overcome it as well. And so, we move into, there's this wonderful like realization as we move from this Nine of Swords. It is going to be a natural progression throughout the season of Leo. So there's this beautiful progression of moving out of the Nine of Swords and into the Ten of Swords, and the realizations that are happening present themselves. It's almost like it's going to present itself with the Strength card ending off the reading. It's going to present itself as perhaps probably at the end of Leo season as kind of like your greatest strength. Your greatest strength in that you're finding within this Leo season is that it's coming through as like you are your greatest teacher, because it was you who went and shined up the surface of your cup. You who, despite all of the anxiety, all of the nervousness that was brewing within your being, decided to tilt that cup and look within, Four of Swords, looking within yourself, and looked at your shadow, and decided to kind of like allow it to feel that energy, allow it to touch you, and then immediately proceeded into the realization of that, and how it's actually benefiting you. And so all of this is kind of like, it's like being wrapped up in this like wonderful package of this message that you are your greatest teacher. And I'm loving with the Strength card how, the relationship between her and this lion it's one of trust. So, you trusting yourself, and also you kind of like you accepting the scarier parts of yourself and learning how to tame them, learning how to make them your own, and also learning how to teach yourself about like the most inner parts of your heart. It's really beautiful. It's definitely like a self-love a proclamation of self-love, and a realization that you are your greatest teacher. All right, collective. If you are interested in seeing the extended of this reading, the link for that will be in the description box, and I hope to see you there.